And we are live. Good evening, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to my first live show with my new branding. I'm still Lady D. You can call me Lady D, D Delphine. I don't care what you call me. Oh, stop it. I have sorry. I had a little bit of echo there because I forgot to turn off my thing. So sorry about the echo. And I think I lost Maren. Where did Maren go? Maren was in the bullpen. I lost her. Anyway, how is everyone doing? I just wanted to make a few announcements before we bring back Maren. I don't know what happened to her. Hold on. I'm getting a text, so let's see what happened. Let's see what happened. That's her. She's back. She's back. All right, she's back in the bullpen. It was like all of a sudden I looked down and she was gone. All right, folks, for those who didn't see my video a couple of days ago, I rebranded my channel. The reason why I rebranded my channel, if you want to know, I did a video of my rebrand. Basically, the short of it is I got sick and tired of the bullshit that was associated with Soul Therapy with Lady D and the trolls and the bullshit and the jealousy and the bap. Also, when I went to the UK and England and I started remote viewing, which I've been doing all along, I didn't know it. And I did a session with Tia Bean and Beverly and Asria. I realized that I really was one of the oracles of Delphi. Okay. I'm not saying I am the only one and I'm the oracle, but I was one of them. But there were many of them. Okay. There were many of them. And the reason why there were many of them is because, and I was explaining this to Maren before the show, is that if they didn't get the predictions right, or if the predictions took too long to manifest, or if they did not say what the gods at the time, which were evil hybrids, just like they were in ancient Egypt, what happened is that they would kill the oracle. Or what would happen is, because the reason how she got her predictions and her psychic visions is that she would sit over the cracks in the earth, and the cracks in the earth, the vapors of noxious gases would come up, and she would inhale the gases, kind of like psychedelics, kind of like being on a trip, right? She would inhale those, and after a while of inhaling noxious gases, I'm sure you can put two and two together. It wasn't really good for the health of the oracle. So, rebranding my channel. Before I bring Maren on, like I said, you can call me Lady D, you can call me D, Bev and all them call me D, my friends in the UK, so whatever. Just don't call me late for dinner. That's all. Okay? I do want to bring your attention. I am having a sale on my half-hour readings. I'm going to share my screen. The sale ends on Monday. Back by popular demand, I'm doing this for one more week. And my 30-minute readings, they're usually $75. They're $20 off. This is the price I used to charge many, many years ago when I first started reading. So this will happen. This is on right now. So if you're interested in purchasing a 30-minute psychic private tarot reading with me via phone, in the description of this video is my website. Okay, I can see international clients via WhatsApp. So I can see international clients. The bottom line is that you have to figure out the time zone. You have to figure out how to download WhatsApp. Okay, I don't have Paula anymore. Paula quit. So, like I said, there's nobody to wipe any asses anymore. You have to figure out everything yourself now. Okay, because Lady D doesn't have time to read emails. She'll probably get to emails once a week. Okay, so if you're interested in purchasing now, as last time, you can purchase as many 30-minute readings as you want. You don't have to book them now. However, you can't purchase two 30-minute readings and then think you're going to do a 1-hour reading, make them a 1-hour reading. It's not going to fly. All right. Also, please, in the description of this video, let me find Manifesting Maren. Let me find my soul sister. I'm afraid, no, I can't bring it up, because if I bring it up, shoot. If I bring up YouTube right now, hold on. If I bring up my YouTube, it's going to make, hold on one second. I'm going to bring up It's in my bookmarks, but what happens is that if I go to YouTube, it's going to bring up this live show and you're going to hear an echo, which you don't need. So I'm going to bring up just YouTube and show you her and show her your, excuse me, I can't talk. I'm going to bring up her YouTube channel. My God almighty. I'm still recovering, folks. Please bear with me. I'm still not 100%. All of Manifesting Maren's contact information is in the description of this video. However, I did want to bring it up so you could see. All right, and here she is. There she is. All right, I'm going to share my screen and then I'm going to bring her on. So if you have not subscribed to my soul sister, Manifesting Maren, there's her YouTube channel. Please give her a like, share, and subscribe. Also, she's on Instagram, and all her contact information is underneath the description of this video. Yeah. So that's it, my Soul Tribe family. And without further ado, I'm bringing in my soul sister, my sister from another mister. I call her my younger spicy meatball. She's like a younger version of me, much sexier and prettier, but she's a younger version of me. So without further ado, here's my soul sister, Manifesting Maren.
Hey, I like the spicy meatball. Yeah, you gotta do the Italian hand. Hello, everybody.
It's so good to have you here, honey.
Good to be here. I'm glad you're feeling better too.
Yeah, we were supposed to do this last week, but I got sick last week. I got a sinus infection and I got psychically attacked like a biatch. So I think that's pretty much over. I shouldn't say that because anything could happen, but I wasn't the only one that got psychic attacked. Everyone had a horrible week last week.
Yeah, that's
not
what I'm
everyone.
seeing that too, for sure.
Yeah, how was your week last week?
What's that?
How was your week last week?
It was fine. Like I didn't really have any psychic. My boyfriend was sick for a long time. But
Really?
I didn't really have any issues. I was just really exhausted. So that always makes me wonder if the Schumann was spiking, or I haven't really been checking in on that, but I'm sure there was something.
Yeah, we'll see. I think I'm trying to remember. I remember Beverly, the Jedi, saying that the next couple of weeks was going to be brutal with I think it was called psychic reversal syndrome, and then the energies. The Schumann is really, really intense. It really, really is intense. And there's a lot of things going on metaphysically.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I can always tell because it makes me sleep for like 10 hours.
Yeah.
I know some people
stop.
they can't sleep, but I always get knocked out.
Do you do?
Yeah.
Yep. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Thank you, Garden Ho. You're my only moderator now. Chrissy's not doing it anymore. She's taking some time off to take care of herself and write her book. I don't think there'll be too many trolls here tonight. I
Can't see the
shouldn't
chat
say that.
unless it's like unless I look really close. No, but again, this is a new phone, so it kicked me out backstage when I pushed the chat button last time, so I'm afraid to push it right now.
Oh, I've done that too. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know what it is? Sometimes that happens.
Well, I went back to
happens.
Android, so it must be different because on my iPhone I could see the chat like underneath the video. So, but I can't see it right now. But so hello everyone. I'm not ignoring you, but I can't read anything.
There's a new feature too on StreamYard that you can put the chat so people don't have to you can watch the live chat on the screen. It might be a little bit, it's on your shoulder right now.
Yeah, I can see it. It's just tiny. Yeah. Like I can't read it, but I see that it's there.
Right. So I didn't put a topic of the show tonight because we're going to hit so many topics. All right. We're going to get, Maren and I talked about pretty much about our families and I think one of the main topics we're going to talk about is narcissistic families and how our families can be a detriment to us, how to deal with our families. And, even though we're awake and we're doing our spiritual work, it's our families still bother us. It doesn't matter how old, and they still affect us.
Yeah.
Also talking about how Well, for me, everyone knows I'm a spicy meatball, and the reason why I really resonate with Maren is because she is a lot like me, and when I talk to her, I feel a kindred because it's like, oh my God, there's not too many people that are spicy meatballs.
Yeah, I have a lot of fire within me, and then I incarnated as an Aries, an Italian Aries, so that doesn't help me at all.
My God Almighty, yeah. Just wait till you hit my age. Whew. You're
Yeah,
still young. I got some years on you, so watch out. So we're gonna talk about families, but first of all, I know that there are a lot of people that are disappointed that I don't do the politics, and I don't really want to talk about politics, but I do want to talk about a few things. I don't watch the politics like I used to, but of course I'm informed, okay? I'm informed because I want to basically not for the stupid clown circus, because I really don't give a shit about the clown circus, but I want to know what's going on. I want to know basically, where we are in this spiritual war, because it's more of a spiritual war than anything else.
right.
And I know two things everyone wants to know. The big rift between our president, Donald J. Trump, and Elon. Okay, I'm going to give you my take, what I get psychically from it. Okay, and about other things too. Okay, first of all, do you really think that Elon Musk and Donald J. Trump are really fighting, or do you think it's a psyop?
Not a chance. I think it's a total act. 100,000% without a doubt in my mind. I think they're
Right,
getting back together behind the scenes laughing. And, I think Trump's like, post this next.
right,
That's what
right.
I think it just
Exactly.
makes me laugh at this point because I'm in the same boat. I haven't, for a while I was watching Rumble videos like every night, and I haven't watched anything political based since like February. So this stuff coming out now, I feel like they're kind of trying to reel people back in a little bit. But yeah, I don't think it's real. I'm sure that you have angles to it too. I think that they're trolling the Democrats, really, is what
Yep.
it is. They're setting traps for them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Um, I think what they're doing is they're doing looky here, looky here. Okay. First of all, we all know that Donald Trump is not on the Epstein Island or the Epstein files. Okay. Think about it. If he was, don't you think the Democrats would have used that a long time ago
Oh,
against
they
him?
would have blasted that shit for days, for years. That would have been on the front page of everything for years. There's just absolutely no way.
Exactly. Exactly. That would have been the first thing, and that would have taken him out. What I
Oh,
think, and everyone's saying it too, what I think is that they want the Epstein files to come out, right? And all the Democrats did very quiet about it, right?
mhm.
So what happened is that Elon and Donald Trump, they did this fake fight. They put out the cheese. They
Oh
put the
yeah.
cheese in the trap. And the
Yep.
stupid mudderfudders took the bait. The
Right.
stupid
And now they're
Democrats
all
took
like
the bait.
demanding the list, and I'm like, he's brilliant.
It is brilliant. It is
Yeah.
brilliant because we all know that Donald Trump was the only one that actually went to court and testified against Epstein. Okay. He threw Epstein out of his golf club years ago when he was making advances against young, like adolescent girls. He threw him out, barred him from his club, and
Yep.
reported him. He testified, and that pedo would still be in jail if it wasn't for the fact that our government, the CIA, he was working for them, got him out. So
Yep.
it's not Donald J. Trump. Okay. So, and I think pretty much everyone knows this now. I think a few days ago when it all happened, we were all like, what the,
Yeah.
like what's going on? This is ridiculous. But they're doing it it's a big psyop. They're doing it to say,
Yep.
hey, looky here, Democrats, and then bam.
Yeah.
And the Democrats, because they're dumb, they're taking the bait.
Yeah. I was watching Laura's View today, and she said something that made so much sense too about how she was like, these billionaires like Trump and Elon, they don't bring like their emotion into a lot of stuff. So why all of a sudden would they be acting like children throwing tantrums? Like it's just totally not real. It's totally out of character for both of them. It's just so
Right,
obvious that it's not real. And it
Right.
just makes me laugh because, even like normie Republicans, and I don't mean that as a diss, I'm just saying, are getting so riled up and they're like, see, I knew they were bad and all this stuff. And I'm just like, you guys, it's not real. Like, come on. It just makes
Yes,
me laugh at this point. Like, it's just a circus.
it is a circus. And another thing, since we're talking about Epstein, okay? I know everyone is like, what the F with Dan Bongino and Cash Patel on that. I forget, he was on some Fox interview and they said that Jeffrey Epstein killed himself. Okay. We all know that Jeffrey Epstein did not kill himself. Okay. That is such bullshit.
Yeah.
Okay. But we have to think about it. Okay. If Jeffrey Epstein was willing to has the receipts and is going to testify and be a witness, and if he's working, singing like a canary with the good government, the good white hats, right? Don't you think they would have taken him out of prison to make sure he wasn't killed?
Yeah. I don't even know if I believe that he's dead.
I don't believe for 1 second he's dead. I
Yeah.
don't think anyone in the world believes he's dead.
No.
Okay. Even Dan Bongino and Cash Patel, they have to lie. You want to know why? Because if Epstein has the goods and he's working with the good government, why would they let people know? Part of the deal, just like Trump and Elon are fighting, they want people to think that Epstein's dead, and they're trying to throw off people because the deep state thinks that Epstein's dead, right? So they're like, shoo, we don't have to worry about Epstein. He's dead, but he's not dead. They
No.
staged that, and then he's in witness protection because they're going to bring him out. How many people believe that? That's what I get. Put a 1 in the chat if that's what you think the deal is. Because we know that Dan Bongino and Cash Patel aren't liars. They're doing their job and they would not tout that bullshit story unless they have to. But again, they have to do this in order to bait, right? And to bait. See,
Yep.
I'm getting ones.
Everything they do is a very like calculated chess move. I think it's been planned long in advance. They know exactly what they're doing and they're always 10 steps ahead. So it's like, I don't even, like you said, I don't even bother paying attention anymore because this is a movie and it's not for us. So I just, it took me a long time to get to this point where I can just look at it and laugh without being like mad that other people still don't see it. So yeah, it's just funny to me. It's because it's so blatantly obvious to me, like what's going on, that the people get so wrapped up and caught up in it. I'm just like, I'm like, how do you not see this by now? But
Exactly. It's hot. It's the thing is that, and I say this all the time. We might not exactly know when they're going to end. Okay, so we got the answers to the test, okay? We don't know exactly how the test is going to play out. We know the basics, but basically we know the end. We know the movie. I should say we got the script to the movie, okay? We got the original script to the movie. We know the ending. There's been lots of plot twists, a lot of restructuring. There's a lot of actors that have come in and out and firing.
yeah,
There's been a lot of rewrites, but we know the end. The movie is not for us. The movie is for the sheeples, the comas, the people that don't know, the people that are brain dead.
yeah.
Sorry, this is so obvious now.
The people
So
that are still sleeping, they need to get an emotional reaction out of those people. So like, I get it. They are really hyping it up with the dramatics of everything, but it's like these people need that emotion, I guess, to snap them out of their slumber. So
yeah.
it's just, yeah, it's crazy.
Good night, Sharon. Feel better, honey. It is. It's just, and I understand. Listen, I love Trump. I love Trump. If I were, I was talking to my friend Viviana, and it was yesterday or today, and I was saying, I think the reason why I love Trump is because if I were president, I'd be like him, but I'd be worse. Be like,
Oh yeah.
because he's got that East Coast attitude, like, because I'm from Boston or I'm from Massachusetts, he's from New York. So it's like that that Northeast attitude. It's like, we just say it. We don't
Oh yeah, he's very
sugarcoat
blunt
it.
and honest, and I'm that way. So, and so are you. So I appreciate people that don't beat around the bush. They just say it like it is, and he doesn't
Mhm.
give a shit.
And why should he?
Yeah.
Everyone's like, well, it's like he's people coming at him left and right. All right.
Well,
They can attack him, but he can't,
what
he can't
also,
attack back.
if these people even knew who he's up against, like these are disgusting, inhumane people that do vile things behind the scenes, like I would be rude as hell to them too.
Right. I'd be a
Yeah.
lot worse to them. When he
Yeah.
calls on the reporters and he's like, fake news. I'd be like, do you really? I'd be like, how can you look at yourself, you dumb bitch, working
I
for
know.
CNN?
He is
Like,
also very calm,
get
and
out
I'm
of
like,
my office.
yeah. He's very calm at other times too, where I would just be like freaking out.
I would, yeah, I would just, I would just be like, how come you didn't ask that for the last 4 years with the brain dead asshole that made this mess? It's just so like he's so, yeah. That's why I'm not president.
Well, and did you see Trump retruthed somebody's post about Biden being a clone and Biden's not even the
Oh,
real Biden and all of that? So it's so funny. It's like
yep,
conspiracy theorists are up 1,000 to 0.
exactly. And I loved it. So I went to my parents' house this week and I opened up the post and I said, look at that. And they're like, well, and it's like, because finally they realize that Big Mike is Big Mike, right? After I've been telling them for two, and we talked about this, Maren, and we're going to get into our families, okay? But it's so infuriating when you tell people this and they don't believe you because, I don't know, your friends or your family, or you're like us. Maren and I are the youngest, okay? We're the youngest of our families. And for some reason, they don't want to believe us. Even though people pay me $150 an hour for my advice and my psychic intuition, my friends, some of my close friends in my family, they don't want to fucking listen to me. And it's so irritating. But when Tucker Carlson says it, or it's on Greg Gutfeld on Fox, and now it's common knowledge. So I'm sorry. I don't take the high road. Look at them and go,
I
look
know.
it. See? Big Mike's a man. Big Mike's a man.
And
I
as
was
in
right. Now do you want to
2023, they'll
start
believe
fucking
it.
listening to me? It's
Yeah.
like, yeah,
It's
do you want
because
to
they
start
need an
fucking listening
authority
to me?
figure. They need an authority figure to say it before they'll believe it, which is so triggering to me, but I'm just like, whatever. I've given up even trying to tell them anything, so it's just like it is what it is.
Oh yeah, I don't tell them things, but when things come out that I said were true, I let them know. I'm sorry, I
Yeah.
do. You go, see?
Yeah.
I was right.
Yeah.
Why? Because do you want to know why? And I know I should be better than I told you so, but they love telling me I'm wrong and they never listen to me. So when I'm right, I'm not going to be obnoxious about it, but I'm going to let them know. I'm going to let them
Oh yeah.
know. Sorry.
I'm an I told you so person when it comes to my family. And I know it's my ego, but I don't care. I'm like, see, I was right.
Well, it's not even about ego. It's the truth. It's like you were right. It's not the truth. And
Yeah.
if these people are all full of ego and they want to lambaste you or they want to not, they don't want to believe you. It's so insulting. It's like you don't know what you're talking about. You have no credibility. What?
Yep.
Because I didn't go to a 4-year college and I wasn't indoctrinated like my
Exactly.
sister. My sister who's still living at fucking home, who's a Klingon. Really? Who
Yeah.
has more world experience? Who? Who? What do you think? The Klingon that has the 4-year indoctrination that we all know is bullshit now? Or the person like me who's been out and knows what's going on? But whatever. We're not going to change our families, right?
I know. And it's like I get to the point where I just like, and I know that they know that I know what I'm talking about with some things, but it's like sometimes you just get to the point where I'm just like, okay, I'll play dumb. I'll just play the dumb role that you think I am. And it's just, yeah.
Yeah.
I get so
Right.
wrapped up in their opinion sometimes that sometimes I just have to be like, whatever. And the best way to, like I've told you, like I haven't been sick in over 10 years. So you think that they maybe would have listened to me over these years, like, oh, what are you doing? But no, they don't ask me for advice for anything. So,
It's
you
very
know,
frustrating.
yeah.
So let's get into the families here because I know every single person that's either watching now live or in the chat, or will watch in the replay, you are a generational curse breaker. You are the black sheep in your family. You have either selfish, narcissistic, or crazy sheeples in your family. Okay. You are not awake. You're not watching my channel unless you're one of these people. I know because I read you. I've read you, all of you. I see the comments in the chat. So this is a very much needed show. So Maren and I are we're going to discuss our experiences. And listen, we still struggle. Even though I have a show, I admit I don't know it all. I'm not perfect. I'm bitchy. Lately, I'm bitchy. I'm grumpy. I'm become a misanthrope because I can't fucking stand people. Okay.
Same.
And this is very hard for me because I'm supposed to be on live, being part of a spiritual community and helping people. But I gotta tell you, the last week I can't fucking stand people. Okay, I'm done wiping people's asses. I'm done with the dummies. I'm done with the people that don't want to take responsibility. I'm done with people that are part of a soul tribe and don't get it. All right. So, anyways, and I'm done with the general public. I've had it up
Yeah.
to.
That's why, like, my channel has been stuck at this subscriber amount since 2020 or like 2019, because once 2020 hit, you can see I barely put anything out there because I'm just so over it, and it's hard for me to not like get online and not look like a bitch because I am a misanthrope too. I'm just like, I just get so overwhelmed with humanity and how ignorant they are that I just like, I can't even make videos because I'm like, I'm just gonna say mean shit the whole time if I do. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I know like, everyone's at their own level, and like I totally get that, but it still frustrates me. It does.
Of course it does. We're human. We're not walking on water.
Yeah.
And listen, I'm a self-proclaimed bitch. And I really don't care because when I wasn't a bitch, people walked all over me. This is the thing. Okay. This is the thing about society. And I'm sure everyone in the chat will relate to this. We were born psychic. We're all born sensitive, right? Either we're all empaths, or we're all born psychic, intuitive empaths. All of us that are watching this show, there's not one person in the show that's not intuitive, does not have metaphysical gifts. If you're watching this show, you're tuned in. Okay.
Yeah.
So we get lambasted as soon as we come upon this earth. We're shining bright lights. Okay. So when we're little, people come at us, right? And what do we get? Oh, you're too sensitive. I used to cry. I used to cry. I used to get bullied. I used to cry. I used to cry. And everyone would pick on me more and pick on me more. And they'd say, oh, Delphine, you're too sensitive. Get a backbone, right? Okay. So I get to a certain point, and then I said, that's it. I'm not fucking taking anymore. And then I go to the other end of the spectrum. Okay. So they don't want me to be sensitive. But then when I'm not sensitive anymore, and I'm like, oh, I'm not sensitive anymore, I'm going to punch your fucking lights out. Then they go, oh, whoa. You need to chill out. You need to. So which is it? Am I too fucking sensitive, or am I too angry? Yeah. Pick a fucking lane, because I'm going to tell you, I'm not in the middle. Okay. Yeah. I went from being sensitive and crying and turning the other cheek. And when I turn the other cheek, what do? They punch the other cheek. So I beat the fuck out of you, so I know that you're not going to mess with me anymore. That's how I am. So the reason why I'm a bitch, the reason why I'm a bulldog, is because I was bullied, was beaten, I was verbally abused in my family. Okay. So this is why I am who I am. Okay. Just like a dog in the shelter, right? You have a dog in a shelter that's been abused, right? You go to pet the dog, right? And you go to pet the dog, and they see the hand coming at them, right? They might growl a little bit because they don't know whether you're going to hit them or you're going to pet them. So when people come at me, I'm going to fucking bite you, so you know not to come at me. That's who I am. I was brought up in the 70s when there was a bully in the schoolyard. My father went up, and punched the bully in the face. That's how I deal with it. Not like the pussying and the pussy parents and the little parents and the helicopter parents today. Because I'm telling you, if parents said, go to the bully and look them in the eye and tell them to cut the shit. Yeah. Or if someone punches you, you can't do it anymore. I'm not advocating for violence, but I got to tell you, when the bully came up to me and punched me in the face and I beat the shit out of her, she never bothered me anymore. Yeah.
Well, now instead of like punching people, I just set strong boundaries, and people don't like that either because they take it offensively, or they think, it's just, people don't understand spiritual hygiene when they don't have that level of perception. And again, I'm not being like, oh, I'm better than anybody, but if somebody in our family doesn't have any spiritual depth to them and they don't even know what that means, they just take offense of like, if say we don't come around that often. Like, it's not because I don't love you guys. It's just I need my spiritual boundaries or my nervous system's going to go out of whack. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Rhonda B, I used to hear this all the time. I'll give you something to cry about. Yep. There you go. How about this one? Children should be seen and not heard. Okay? How about that? Yep. I was told, shut the fuck up and go in your room. Okay? I didn't grow up in the Brady Bunch. I know I have the mouth of a sailor. I was brought up this way. Okay? I didn't have Alice in the Brady Bunch. Okay?
So we had kind of different experiences, which I think is a good, because a lot of people think, just before, not that I think anyone in my family would ever watch this, but in case they ever do, I just want to start by saying, you know, I had no complaints. I did grow up in a cookie cutter neighborhood family. I had everything handed to me. I had a very good childhood. So I am not complaining. But just because we had good childhoods doesn't mean, you know, my parents were emotionally immature in different opposite ways. And, you know, I had everything handed to me, but there was definitely an emotional neglect there. But again, I'm not complaining, but that doesn't mean that just because we were brought up in like very good families, that doesn't mean that we don't have trauma, because we are all born into this inverted reality. All of us have trauma, no matter if we had a shitty childhood, a good childhood, no matter what it was, we are literally in upside down demonic world. So there's trauma everywhere. And there's always one person in the family that kind of wakes up to that and does the ancestral work. And I know it's most of the people watching, and our family members just don't understand that, because, you know, people can only see you as far as they've gone themselves. So if they have no connection to their spirit and their higher self, and they don't dive into any of this, like, I'm just very obsessed with like the birth order and psychology and figuring out like why people are the way that they are and like family dynamics. And if someone in our family isn't also researching that, like they don't get it, and they'll take things offensively. And it's a lot to be like the cycle breaker, because I feel, like I said to you earlier, I feel like an alien in my own family. It's always been like, it's always felt like I've had to force feelings for them. And I don't mean that in a bad way. Like, I don't love them, but it's hard to explain. Like, I've never felt close to anybody in my family. Like, I've never met you in real life, and I feel like you know me more than they do, if that makes sense. Like, they know me before I woke up. They knew childhood me, but they don't know my true soul. Like, they don't know who I really am, because they always try to pull me back to the version of me they want me to be, because that's where they're comfortable.
Yep. No, it's so, everything you're saying is, it's just like exactly how I feel. It's, you know, I know that we're the generational curse breakers in our family, and we signed up for this, but it comes to a certain point when you're just like, enough is enough. And it takes its toll on you. And like right now, like it's a lot for one person to take on, because we're not only the generational curses, how to put it, the generational curse breaker for this generation. We're doing it for all. I'm talking about past generations, way, 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 way back.
Yeah.
It's us. And
Yeah.
we're strong. And we set up this, and we know we can do it. But sometimes we get tired. Sometimes enough is enough. And sometimes we need a little compassion and need a little love. We're not islands. And it's so tough. Even now, even though I don't really go over I love my mother and father. I love my sister. I love them. I'm not saying I don't. I didn't grow up in the worst family. There's been a lot worse families. Okay. I wasn't like beaten all the time, but I was emotionally neglected and verbally abused, and I would get beat sometimes. Okay. I had a very narcissistic mother, a bully father, and not a bully, a bully sister that's older than me, 5 years older than me, the youngest. And I was the youngest of 13 grandchildren at one point. Okay. So I understand this. However, it gets to a certain point when I go over there because I do love them. And I sit down and just like you said, I'm sitting and I'm like, these people are my family and I love them, but I can't fucking stand them. I don't like them. If I wasn't related to them, I'd have nothing to do with them. And I'm coming over there and I love them and care about them more than they care about me. And it's the truth. I'm not just saying this. If I didn't go over or call my mother, I could be dead and rotting in this apartment and no one would fucking know. Because we all know that the bitch next door that used to be my best friend took off on me because, when I got a little emotional, I had a little nervous breakdown when my husband took off on me. She decided to judge me. Hope you can hear me, bitch. Anyway, we share a wall. That's just the mood I'm in right now.
That's so crazy that she's that close, like, and literally you share a wall and she doesn't say anything.
No, because she loves me so much.
Well, that's another
Anyway,
thing. I know it's very common in you know, growing up being an empath. It's a lot of people have narcissistic parents. My parents weren't really that way. I just think what's also funny is I think that we're the oldest souls, but the youngest in the flesh. So it's a very
yep,
interesting dynamic, and it's frustrating because we don't get taken seriously. Um, but like you said, your mother was narcissistic. I know that that's so common. Like so many people that I talk to that are like on the spiritual journey in their family have that as well. They're like, my parents are narcissistic. So it's like it just seems to be a common thing. And that's kind of how children become empaths. It's like they're absorbing all of that stuff when they're little. And it's like you kind of have to like not manipulate, but you kind of have to act a certain way around them to function right, if that makes sense. Like you learn to adapt to their personalities, and it turns
yep,
into like being a sponge. And like I'm a professional people reader. Like I can read, I know if people don't like me before they even open their mouth. Like I know if people are like, I know what my family thinks of me without them ever having to say it.
yep.
If that makes
Right.
sense.
It's just like exactly. It's like I know I can tell by your comments in the chat just by reading who you are. And I've never been wrong. I can tell
Yeah.
an asshole in the chat a mile away. Even if you try to act nice, I can tell. And it's just so infuriating. It's like you said, all the people in the chat, you, Maren, Chrissy, Bev, Azria, Tia Bean, and Selma, all the people I met in England, right? All my friends in England. I understand that I'm not alone because I have you all, but you're not here next to me. You're in another state. Chrissy's
Yeah.
in another state. All my friends, all you guys are in other states, other countries, you're around the world. You're not here next to me. I'm not a fucking island. Sometimes I get lonely. Sometimes it sucks because what happened is when I first got married, I had a bunch of partying friends and they were all drinkers and whatever. When I got married, I moved and I lived outside of Massachusetts. I lived in Las Vegas, I lived in Colorado, and I lived in Canada because my soon to be ex asshole comes from Canada. So when I moved back to Massachusetts to be near my family because they're older now, and my father had a stroke, I didn't have any friends. All I had was the bitch next door. So I literally, my friends are all around. I can't call anyone up and say, hi, want to go to a movie? Because there's no one to fucking call up. Okay.
Yeah.
And I understand I'm strong, but it hurts. It hurts. I know everyone thinks I'm a big badass bitch, but I cry. I cry all the time. I go from hurt to anger because I'm literally all alone now. And I understand that I signed up for this. And I understand that I'm the black sheep in my family. And I understand that I should take it as a badge of honor, like I always say, because we're of this world and not in it. And it just means that I'm working for God. And we understand that the world's going to hate us, because we shine our light. I get this, but it doesn't take the suck out of it. It doesn't make it less painful and it doesn't make it not hurt. Sometimes it's easier than others, but this past week between this and I do call you. I do. There's the mother that I have. I have my soul mama. I call her. She's the mama even though you're not old enough to be my mama, she's my surrogate mother. I love you, Barbie. So, and I do call you. But after a while, it just gets so hard and we're so tired. So, folks, trust me, I understand what it's like. And it's just, I listen, I know I sound like a dichotomy, and I am, because on one token, it's like I can't, I'm a misanthrope because I can't fucking stand people. But then, and I'm okay being on my own because I'm such an empath, and I feel like the more the earth raises, it's like I can't be around certain energies. Like I'd rather be alone because I'm reading people all day. And so the only energy I can control is my own. But on the other hand, I'm not an island. I do need people. So you know what I'm saying, Maren? What do you
Yeah.
think about what I just said?
Yeah, well, and I always say, I know we're all scattered all over the world on purpose because you can't have, I think we come here, I think the older the soul you are and the more work that you've done in past lives, I think it raises your vibration. So we're scattered all over the planet on purpose by design. So it makes sense to me, but yeah, I agree with everything you're saying. It's hard because we always feel like aliens, around other people. And that's one reason why I became an alcoholic at age 15 to age 30 for 15 years, because I'll never forget that first sip of alcohol. And I was like, oh my God, I can be around other humans now. I'm because I just always felt such a repelling, and like, it was like repelling magnets, just way different energies. And, alcohol instantly lowers your vibration. So, and I'm not knowing that at the time, I was instantly hooked because I was like, wow, like I can actually I had antisocial issues. Like I would get social anxiety. And then I discovered alcohol and I was like, wow, I can tolerate being around people now. And it was because of all that. Like we are different. And again, I have my own issues. I have anger issues. Nobody's perfect. I'm not saying I'm better than everybody or anyone. Like there's people higher levels than me. There's people lower, just like we're all on different. That's the paradox of Earth. We're all on different levels. And then we come here and we all have to try to get along and it's hard. But, you know, I do think that a lot of us have a higher vibration, and that's why it's just really awkward and hard to be around others and make friends and find friends in real life, because we are all scattered all over the planet because the planet's ascending, which is exactly why we came, because we carry a higher frequency and it helps Earth, which is ascending, ascend higher. And that's the whole point of the spiritual ascension, which is why I think we volunteered to come back here. I
Yep.
believe that anyway. And then it makes sense with everything else going on. And I know people don't like and I know it can sound a little new agey when you're like, oh, we're higher vibration. Like, I'm not saying we are better than everybody. There was past lives where I came to the planet and my vibration was low as fuck too. Like, it just is what it is. Like, we all come with levels. And the reason we're awake is because we've done the work in past lives. So we're more aware.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a hard, and it's just like anything. When before we incarnated, we were like, "Oh, sure, I'll be the generational curse breaker. Oh, sure, let's do it." And then you come down here and you're born, you're like, "What the fuck was I thinking?" All right, can I rewind?
Oh, yeah. Like, I'm just like, I don't like any of these humans. Get me out of here.
Exactly. And what's happening now is I feel that everything's coming to a head. I mean, I just like it just seems like, and people say like the dark is getting darker. I don't think the dark is getting darker. I just think that there's more light and
Yeah,
they're
it's
not
being
hiding
exposed.
anymore. They can't hide.
The best analogy that I have heard is like, if you have dark monsters in a closet that are always in there, if you shine a little flashlight in there, you can see them. But if you shine a big flashlight in there, you can see all of them. That doesn't mean they weren't always there or that it's getting worse. You're just the light is being shed on these things. Our
Right.
planet, the government, the world, everything has always been like this. I was talking about these things back in 2012. Some people were talking about these things back in the 70s and 80s. It's always been this way. It's just since the internet and since 2020, it's just really getting a lot of exposure, which, the word apocalypse actually means to unveil. It's not like the end of the world like they tell us it is.
Yep. Ooh, I didn't know that. That's really good.
Yeah,
You
the
know,
word apocalypse means like to reveal, the great revealing, to lift the veil.
yep. It's not easy. So that's why I wanted to talk about how do we deal with this? How do we deal with this? Well, it's not easy. And I get up here and I give you advice, and I guess I'm a spiritual teacher, a leader in the community. I feel I just basically get online and expose myself, and not expose myself, but talk about myself and use my gifts, what I can, and use my life as an example. And I'll be the first to tell you, I do have an anger problem. I have a temper. And it's not just because I'm a sensitive soul and I was brought up like that. I'm also, if people know my relationship to the real Bono, right? Paul David Houston, the real one, not that demonic asshole clone that went on Joe Rogan and totally embarrassed himself. Shut the fuck up, fake clone Bono. Go back to Ireland, pay your taxes, and
Wait, he
drop
went on
dead.
Rogan,
Okay.
right? Like recently?
Oh, you didn't know? Okay, so clone Bono. All right. For people that don't know my relationship to the real Paul David Houston, I'm a split apart. I'm his twin flame. Okay. All right. That's who I am. I've gone to many, many psychics. I know who I am. Why did all of a sudden it's like I got dark? So weird. Anyway, hold on. I have to turn. It's like all of a sudden, the screen got dark. Is it just me, or does my screen look a little darker? Anyway, they don't like me talking about this, so I'm going to talk about it more. I have
The
to adjust
shadow
my.
people have entered the chat.
Oh, you demonic bastards! You really think you're going to get to me? So, anyways, the real Bono. Okay, I don't know why I'm dark. We're just gonna have to deal with this because I can't deal. Let me see if I can turn it up. Hold on. There we go. It's really weird. All of a sudden, my screen got weird. Okay, so anyway, the real Bono, because they're putting him out to, not the real Bono, the fake Bono, because they're putting him out to pasture, right? The clone. And because he's a has-been now, and he can't hardly sing. And so what they're doing is that they're touting him out. First, he did a tell-all book, which is not tell-all. It's bullshit. Now there's a movie coming out, a movie about Bono's life, even though it's not his fucking life. And so he's doing the, what do you call it? Doing the round. So he was on Jimmy Kimmel, that clone demonic piece of shit. He was on Kimmel, okay, like loser Kimmel, and he was talking bad about Trump, and then he went on Joe Rogan, okay. So he's on Joe Rogan, and he makes up this bullshit thing, and he says they're talking about Doge, and he's like, well, 300,000. It hasn't been proven, but rumor has it that 300,000 people died because there's food that have been rotting and didn't get to them because of the Doge cuts. And right away, Joe Rogan said, wait a minute, no, we all know it's a scandal. We all know it's a big pyramid scheme. We all know it's a money laundering operation. And there was no accountability. And he told them off, and Bono was like, okay.
No, I didn't see that.
Oh, it was beautiful. It was beautiful.
I've been in such
Beautiful,
hermit mode, I
beautiful.
have not paid attention to anything.
Yeah. So that's what's going on. So anyway, so yes, that's what's going on with the demonic clone, and I lost my train of thought. I got sidetracked about the clone, but basically, it's like everyone is at the point that they've had it right now. It's like I just feel like in the spiritual community, how much more? And I hate to say this, I want to be patient, and I'm trying to be patient, but it's really, really hard when we're all suffering here. We need money. We need financial relief. They've sat there for 3 months telling us the trillions and trillions of dollars that all this waste and fraud. And my question still is, as I said months ago, where is our money? Why is it that during Brain Dead Weekend and Birdies, shit your pants Biden, who literally got lost in a closet, that their people, they came out and said he would get lost in his own closet. I'm not making this shit up. Why is it that they can throw out $500 or $600 stimulus checks, but we haven't gotten anything? Where's the 5,000 was rumored? What's going on here? How much longer do we have to suffer for the fucking sleepers?
And
Why
this is
it
why
that
I
we
can't
have
pay
to
attention.
suffer?
Because I've told you, I told you before, I used to watch a lot of these men-based shows on Rumble who are always saying, if you're going to follow Q and all this stuff, you have to leave emotion out of it. Well, women are emotional beings. I can't leave emotion out of it. So I'm like, I'm just not even going to pay attention because I can't leave emotion out of it. Like, I just can't. I'm an emotional being. And that's why I'm telling you, like, when I pay attention to this, it makes me resent humanity. And then I feel like Klaus Schwab. I'm like, blow up the world already, like, set it on fire. Because if we're waiting on humanity, I'm sorry, but we're going to be waiting a long time. Like, I know that we're in an echo chamber of like minds on social media, and I have to remind myself of that because it seems like, you know, a lot of people are getting it, but in the grand scheme of things, most Republicans are still asleep to a lot of stuff. You know, most Republicans are still normies.
My
And it's like,
family.
people don't even know that they have a soul, let alone are they working on it. And this is all an inward spiritual journey. And until people get that, and they, you know, like I always say, humanity's in infantile stages of soul development. And I think that they also caused this circus because I think Trump is a spiritual person and he knows this stuff. He is playing a role as a politician. It's all a role. It's all an act. Because just like in the end of V for Vendetta, humanity's laughing at the TV. They don't even pay attention. They're like, that's a fucking circus. I think they're waiting for people to get to that point, like to just stop with the outward saviors and go within and do the fucking work. And when people would do that, then we would stop waiting for saviors. And then I think shit would start happening. But people are just so, they just refuse to look within. They refuse to do the work. And it's just like, we're going on loop. This movie's just like on loop, on loop, on loop. And it's frustrating. The more I pay attention, the more I resent humanity because I'm just like, how are you got, they're removing fluoride from Florida, for example, from our water. And I go on, there's a news post about it, like a local news channel posted it and was like, and now kids are going to get cavities. And there's all these comments from these people like, oh, way to go. Now all these people that can't afford dentists are going to get cavities. I'm like, you guys are begging for poison. Like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? This is like humans begging for their poison still is top tier pathetic. And it drives me mad. I'm like, we're so close to changing things. And you guys are Stockholm syndrome so bad that you're begging for your poison. Like they're mad they're removing the COVID jab from children's vaccine schedules. I'm like, are you kidding me? Why are you people still begging for your poison? Like this
dumb.
I can't with humanity. I can't. Like I will never understand them. They will never understand me. And I just have to accept it.
Yep. That's how I am too. And you're right. It's like, I know that they're doing this and I don't watch the politics, but it's hard not to be emotional. I'm emotional. I can't help it. I am okay. You cannot be psychic like I am. Okay. I'm going to tell you right now, anyone who says they're psychic and not emotional, you're not fucking psychic. Okay. When you're psychic like I am, when you channel, when you have gifts like I do, you're emotional. Your emotions. When I get readings, I cry. When I get downloads, I cry. When I talk to the other side or Yeshua, I cry. You have to be emotional to be psychic. It's a double-edged sword. It's it's good and it's bad because
like
I
a
love
blessing
being
and a curse.
What's that? It's
a blessing and a curse.
Yeah. Curse. It is. It's because it serves me, but it's very, very painful because it's like I feel everything and I'm very, very emotional. And you can't not be emotional. It's very hard. So I have to learn to just breathe. And that's why I isolate. That's why I don't talk to people. That's why I turn everything off. And that's why, because it's like, even though I do my work, I do my protection work, I pray, but when I walk through a crowd of people, I know everything that they're feeling, and it's a bombardment. So this is so hard for people. We have to really, really, and I'll admit it, even though I'm psychic, even though I have a channel, even though I have so many metaphysical gifts, and I'm not I'm not saying I'm so great because there are a lot of psychics and channelers that are better than I am and more talented than me. But it is very difficult for me to control my emotions, especially when I'm stressed, especially with all this other shit on top of it. And quite frankly, I don't give a fuck about the sleepers. I don't care about politics. All I want is our fucking money. That's all I want right now.
Well, I get a little bit triggered when you know, a lot of these pages say leave emotion out of it. Like, we have emotion for a reason. You know, the only thing that's going to make us different from AI robots at this point is our emotion. Like, I'm not going to apologize for being an emotional being. You know, if we take emotion out of everything, what makes us different from a robot? Like, we're not meant to be monotone, emotionless robots. Like, I'm sorry, but God doesn't make mistakes. God gave us, we come here to experience the human emotion, because there's other realms. When you go and you're in a higher realm, they don't experience these emotions. They're just light beings. They don't experience anger, you know, joy. Like, they don't experience the range of emotion that we have. It's literally why we come here. And then people demonize it. I'm like, no, we're not robots. Like, and again, my family, they're great people. They have big hearts. So I'm not saying anything negative, but one of my sisters, she always kind of gives me shit for that. And she's an Aries too, funny enough, but she totally doesn't seem like it. But anyway, she kind of gives me shit like, it's your delivery, it's your aggression behind things that you say sometimes. And I'm just like, you know, this is who I am. You know, some women to be, some women are meant to roar, and some are meant, you know, we need all kinds of teachers. Some women are meant to be very calm and compassionate, some very gentle. Some people are drawn to people like me who kind of yell at you a little bit, because I always say some people need to be yelled at. So, you know,
Oh, I do that a lot.
we all have different personalities for a reason. We all teach in different ways for a reason, and we need all of them. So it gets under my skin when people are like, oh, it's your delivery. Like, I am who I am for a reason.
Oh my God, you're my soul sister. You're so my soul sister. No, sorry, I don't like that. Sorry. Playing with the angles. I forgot. I like to put you on the big screen. Thank you for saying that, Maren, because until I talked to you yesterday, I was like, is there something wrong with me? Why am I so emotional? Why am I so, and the same thing, it's your delivery. It's your delivery. It should really, I will fully tell you, I know people think I'm a bitch. I don't come after you unless you come after me. I will give you the shirt off my back. I'm a very loving person. I cry with you. I take extra time with my clients because I don't want to leave them. I mean, when especially a lot of people are suffering right now. I feel everything with you. I cry with them. I laugh with them. But when you come at me, I'm sorry. You're gonna fucking get it.
Yeah.
Because don't fucking come at me. And then don't act like, I'm a victim. When
Yeah.
if you poke the bear, expect to get fucking scratched. So I'm with you. I'm sick of it's your delivery. What should I
Well,
say? Oh, it's okay. How about this? Stop
he
fucking
didn't
with
come here
me.
to be
Stop
nice, you know.
talking about me.
And that's another thing. It's like, I didn't come here to make friends. I'm not going online to be popular and make friends. Sometimes the truth needs to be delivered in a blunt and honest way, which is why I resonate with Trump so much, because he's that way. And I am not, and so are you. And it's like, I don't, the truth doesn't need to be sugarcoated all the time. And I'm not one of those people. There's plenty of people out there that will sugarcoat the shit out of everything, and you can go and watch them, and that's fine. But we don't all need to be in the same box. That's never going to be who I am. And, you know, 90% of the time when the people that say, oh, it's your delivery, it's because those people don't have a backbone and they don't speak their truth. And we're just triggering that within them, because it makes them upset that they don't do that themselves. So they have to say, oh, that's a negative thing, because deep down they're upset that they can't be that way, that they don't speak
Right,
their truth, that they hide in the
right.
shadows and deny who they are.
Yep. Yep. They because they're too afraid or they can't do it. They don't want to
People
they want to
pleasers.
stick their
Yeah.
yep, they want to stick their head in the sand like an ostrich, and they just want oh and they can't deal with any negative emotion. This like you say, oh I love you. The unicorn farts, let's say the
Yeah.
unicorn farts and rainbows. Oh, you
Yeah.
have to be love and light. You can't be angry. You can't. Who said that? You have to be your authentic self. Part of being a human being and part of raising your consciousness. I hate to tell you folks, all you love and light Nazis that, feel like no, you have to take crap and you have to turn the other cheek. You're not going to get to the fifth dimension or ascend hiding your anger, hiding who you are. Right now, you have to be unapologetically you, be who you are. You have to accept yourself because none of us walk on water. We all can be assholes. We all can be drama queens. We all can be bitches. We all can be awful. So we have to embrace every single part of ourselves and not hide and love it. I love the bitch that I am. sometimes I feel bad. Sometimes I'm like, oh, maybe I should have like, but no. Bottom line is that I would rather have people respect me than like me, because I didn't
Exactly.
like when people walked all over me. And I really think that people who are authentic, people appreciate authenticity. And like you said, it's the
Exactly.
fakes and the phonies and the people that aren't true to themselves, right, Maren?
Authenticity is literally proven to be the highest frequency, even above love. We come here to be authentic.
Right.
And I'm not saying that like gives us a free reign to like go around and be assholes all the time, which I can be an asshole. But what I'm
Me
saying
too.
is 90% of the people who are triggered when you deliver the truth in a blunt way, and or you just authentically are yourself, it's because they are not themselves and they know that, and you being authentic makes them recognize that in themselves. And I'm
Yeah.
sorry, but we are in a demonic world ran by pedivores. Somebody should be angry. Okay, like
Right.
what the
Right.
hell?
Right. And folks, just so you know, half of us are doing things in the astral, okay? And I'm
Yeah.
not loving light in the astral. I'm going and kicking demon ass. I'm doing things, okay? I know I can remember some of the stuff. And you can't expect to be like a demon slayer. I'm not saying I'm a demon hunter. I'm not saying that, but I know I do things in the astral. And I've fought in demons. I've fought demons in the astral. You can't be like a kick ass in the astral and then in your regular life, like, ooh, light 'em up. And that's another thing too. Just because people have faces doesn't mean you're not fighting the dark. You don't think that every fucking troll and every asshole that gave me shit from the prior channels I was on because they're jealous bitches, you don't think that the demonic attachments are talking through them? You're not dealing with people. You're dealing with the entities and the
Yeah.
attachments that are
Yeah.
talking through the people. What say you, Maren?
Yeah. Well, that's just the thing. And it's like the more you do the inner work and the more that you face your shadow, the more you integrate the light. The more shadow that you face, the more light you bring in. And so many people, don't even know the shadow's a thing. They'll mock it and be like, oh, that's spiritual mumbo jumbo. And it's like, you know, they're addicted to this, that, and the other. And it's like, those are your attachments that you refuse to look at and face. And it's like, that's why it's so hard for me to be around asleep people too, because it's just like, they don't even know, they don't even know that they have these attachments. And it's like, it's just very frustrating because they'll do nothing to change it.
Yep. And first of all, Nacy, you are astral traveling. Every night when we sleep, our soul leaves our body. Okay, so you're astrally traveling every night. You just don't remember it. Here's a little technique that Bev, the Jedi, taught me if you want to remember your astral traveling when you sleep, because we sleep only for our bodies. Our spirits are not going to sit there while we're sleeping. One of the main reasons why we sleep is our bodies need to rest, is our souls can't contain themselves. They can't be in this vessel because our souls actually go beyond this vessel. So you're
Yeah.
sleeping, you're astrally traveling at night when you sleep. Now, there's a technique and it takes a while. I'm starting to remember because I'm doing more work. Beverly said, take a glass of water with ice, because ice freezes. You know how there's memories and everything, that water holds everything. Water holds the truth, okay? And if you think about ice, ice freezes something. If there's something in ice, it will freeze, right? So take a glass of water with ice, drink half, and say, I will remember all my astral adventures or excursions, then go to sleep. Then as soon as you get up, don't pick up your phone before, okay? Drink the other half of water, and then sit back for a few minutes and try to close your eyes and try to think. It's not going to happen right away. It might take a long, long time, or you might get fragments and bits of pieces. But you are doing it, Nacy. You just don't know it. We
I've
all
also
do it.
heard that I've heard that anytime we dream at all, it's technically astral traveling. Like any dream that you have, even if you're not flying or whatever, just the act of dreaming is your soul going somewhere else.
Yeah. I think some are more like lucid dreams. Yes, I do think that every dream is some kind of a form of astral travel. Right. I do.
I've
And
been dreaming since that I could fly since I've been little. Like almost every night I am flying around in my dreams, and a lot of them are lucid. Like I know I'm dreaming, and whenever I know I'm dreaming, I choose to fly. So it's interesting. Like, I think that's why I've always been somebody who needs like 8 to 10 hours of sleep, because we're, you know, a lot of us are doing work, like you said, when we're sleeping, we're doing work in the astral realms.
Mm-hmm.
Even more so than here.
Yeah. Yeah. It is. It's just there's so many craziness. There's so much craziness, and we just have to really, really. I just feel that we have to be our own gurus, and that's another thing. Someone put in the chat that our biggest problem is that we're constantly looking to other people, and now's the time that we really have to be our own gurus, and we have to love ourselves, and we have to not look at others. Because if we really believe, all right, we really believe that we're spiritual beings, that we're spiritual beings in physical bodies, and spirit is who we are. And there is no time, right? There's only time, linear time on this earth. That means that we already ascended, right? On some plane, because time is not linear.
Yeah.
So we have to know we did this, we done it, we've already done it. We can do this. Right? And we have to know that everything that we need is we have access to our oversouls, okay? Everything we have access to our oversouls, and our oversouls are connected to God. So we know everything. We just have to remember.
Yeah.
Selma, who the light mother that comes on my channel, she always says it's not a question of integrating your higher self. It's remembering. We're
Yeah.
slowly remembering who we are, because we are already these people. We're already our
Yeah.
higher selves.
And then
We
we
just have
come
to
here and get
remember.
wiped. Yeah, with amnesia. And it's like, that's another thing of waking up in this world. It usually means you're an older soul. And like I always said, like I feel like the age of the guru is kind of dying. Like we saw in 2020, all these gurus, like Sad Guru was pushing the jab, and all of these false light leaders, it's like they're fake, they're not real, you know, they're part of the cabal. And we need to stop idolizing these people, because we are all old souls. Probably a lot of us were shamans in past lives, other types of spiritual leaders. We were witches burned at the stake. Like we have so much knowledge within us. It's just our slates are wiped clean, and then they dumb us down with everything else, with chemtrails, you know, 5G poisons and everything, you know, and that's all on purpose, because they are terrified of us remembering who we are. Because once we remember who we are, we become sovereign, and we don't need the government. And that's exactly what they don't want us to know.
Mm-hmm. So Natalie, yes, I am off Discord. I've been off Discord for 2 months, 3 months. I was on there, and there were so many people with demonic attachments and so much shit. Oh, hold on. For
What's
some reason my computer's not plugged in. Hold on. I have to plug in my computer.
that was
Sorry,
real up close and personal. I'm
sorry,
trying to read the comments. I'm like,
sorry, folks. Hold on a minute. I gotta plug in my computer, because let's see.
what is
My battery.
Discord? I don't even know what that is.
It's an app, and I joined it when I first went on Sean Atwood, and I was on with them guys, which there's a lot of shit going on there. I'm not gonna even get into that. Whatever. It's an app, right? And a lot of people from Sean Atwood's channel were on it. And when I went on it, right, and when Bev and them guys couldn't go on Sean Atwood anymore because of let's say the cat that's wrong, that demonic bitch, the one, the Diddy bitch that used to be on there, I'll put it that way, right? Who says she's right, but she's wrong, right? That demonic bitch. She made it so all the psychics couldn't be on Sean's channel. So Ron asked Beverly and all them if they could come on my channel. And what happened is when they came on my channel, people were there was a lot of shit, and anyways, I had charged a certain amount of money for readings and stuff, and people were coming at me, and you know me, I go after them. So I wasn't too popular anymore with those on Discord. And there's a lot of demons and a lot of drunks on Discord, and when you're an alcoholic, you have a lot of attachments. So
Oh
I
yeah.
got off of that.
I used
got
to
off of
block out,
Discord.
like in my late teens, early 20s, I would black out like every time I drank. And my boyfriends at the time would tell me, like, they were like, they didn't know demonic attachment, but the things that they were like, your voice would change. I would get really mean and nasty and angry, and I would never remember anything. It's like, it ain't called spirits for nothing.
Yeah,
So yeah,
listen, I'm
full
not
of
talking,
attachment.
I'm not judging you, and I'm not saying if you have a glass of wine, but in my profession, I will say alcohol is fucking demonic, okay? If you're
Yeah,
an alcoholic, you have attachments. Every time there's pedophiles, there's trauma, there's attachments, it's always alcohol. Every time there's SRA, at
yeah.
99.9% is alcohol. And like I'm saying, I'm
Literally
not
why they
talking about
call it
people.
spirits.
Yep,
Yep.
and literally, I'm not saying just having a glass of wine. I'm talking if you
No.
have to
And
drink every
I
day.
still have a drink or two every now and then, like a couple times a year. Like I went out on Mother's Day with a couple of my friends who are mothers, and we had some drinks. It's fine. Like, we come here to indulge in the 3D experience, but I also know that I had a problem with it years ago, and I can full-heartedly say I had attachments from drinking.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, and I want to tell you, there's not one person, me included, or anyone in chat, you've had attachments, okay? Attachments don't have to be this big, nasty thing. You don't have to become a full demon. There's an attachment if you're jealous. There's an attachment if you're lazy. There's an attachment if you have addictions. Any type of addictions is attachment. Well, there's your kitty cat. We've all had attachments, okay? What happens is that if we're tired, oh, kitty cat, I
hi,
love him.
Tuba.
Tuna, tuna.
My TV's
I,
turning on.
it's all good. We're talking about stuff. That's why. So, um, we've all had attachments, okay? Because we've all felt sick, or we've all been, emotionally tired, or we've all had stress. And what happens is that when we're sick, or we're drunk, or we're high. Listen, I drank alcohol. I've tried recreational drugs. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not putting anyone down. We also have to know that not one of us is not susceptible, and attachments come in, and it doesn't have to be a full-fledged attachment, just little bits of negative energy. They get in the cracks when you're down and out, or when your defenses are weak. So whenever you're not feeling well, or if when you have an attachment. So I suggest that
Oh, yeah.
everyone, if they're not feeling yourself, or you've been drinking too much, you've been eating too much, you say, I have a sex addiction, I can't stop this. You have an attachment.
Yeah.
Say your prayers. You can get rid of your own attachment. No,
Right.
you don't need to go to an exorcist. You can do it yourself. And
Yeah.
it's as easy as saying, in the name of Yeshua Jesus, I rebuke you in the spirit of alcohol, the spirit of jealousy, the spirit of, and whatever it is, you can do it yourself. Don't you think so, Maren?
Yeah. One of my most viewed videos on my channel is my journey about alcohol and how I quit on my own. And yeah, I mean, you can see it in my eyes. I woke up in 2012. I didn't quit drinking till like 2017. So,
Hmm.
and you can see it in my very first couple of YouTube videos. You can see it in my eyes. Like, I was drinking while I was filming. You could see it. Like, you can see it in my eyes. Like, at least I can, and I'm sure other people would be able to tell. But yeah, one of my most viewed videos is about the journey of alcohol and all the benefits that happened once I quit, and just like, I could literally feel like attachments leaving. My eyes literally got brighter. Like, my face changed. It's crazy. Like, Tuna, stop. Sorry. It's crazy how the attachments can literally like change your appearance too. It's a little bit creepy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So it's just, we have to really, really be careful, because even if you go to church, or keep, you consider yourself a godly religious person. I pray, I love God and Yeshua. No one is susceptible. Now, let's talk about even now. And I love at Carrie K. Okay, because it's like we go through it, and then she talks about it, or she talks about it, and then you go through it, and you sit there and go, what's going on? And then you go watch it. And I'm talking about I am Carrie K. She's on YouTube. She's phenomenal. Okay. And she did a video a couple weeks ago, and she was spot on. And she was talking about how right now, because the astral world has collapsed and we're down to one timeline. And Beverly talked about this, the Jedi, how we're all down to one timeline now. So it means that the dark entities, they have fewer and fewer people.
Yeah.
So, and now that a lot of people are awakening, because it's like kind of like the 100th monkey. It's like the more people that wake up, it spreads. So what's
Yeah.
happening now is that the more people that wake up, there's fewer and fewer bodies to inhabit. So if you're having issues with friends and family, if people all of a sudden get up and leave, or like my friend next door, all of a sudden after 40 years and saying she loves you as a sister to you, like all of a sudden takes off. These just know that demons and the dark and the attachments are talking through these people. Okay.
Yeah.
So if people are acting out of character, if people are being egregious, if people, and you're like, what is going on? The dark will use your mother, your father, your sister, your best friend, your husband, and with me, all of the above.
Yeah. Well, and I think that that's a big reason, like, the jab was pushed so hard. Like, people have no idea how sinister that is. It's like, it literally takes over people's soul. It disconnects their soul. It disconnects their intuition. And if you have, now I'm not saying if anyone in here, got one or something that you're a demon now, but I'm saying these
Mhm.
people who are very filled with these things and they're very asleep, like that's what you kind of call the NPC. Like they have no individual thought. They have no individual personality. It's like they're soulless and they all have those same like dead eyes. Like, I think there's so many of those people too that are just like running on this like demonic hive mind, which is why they're
Mhm.
all like, they look the same, they say the same things, they act the same. Now, I'm not saying
Yeah.
like your family, but I'm just saying like there's a lot of those in society now. I think that's one reason why that crap was pushed. But on the other side of that, a lot of them are leaving this plane because they're not surviving it. So
Yeah. It's true. And I know people in my family got the first two jabs and they're not sick. They're okay. I firmly believe that. And I got in my readings that 99% of the jabs, especially under Trump with Operation Warp Speed, and everyone was bullshit about Trump doing that, they were saline.
yeah, a lot of them.
99.9% of the jabs under um Operation Warp Speed were saline. That's why it pisses me off when people think, oh, because people got a jab, they're demonic. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Don't think you're fucking better than anyone out there if
Yeah,
you didn't get jabbed and people got jabbed. Because I'm not going to sit there and point fingers at people because they didn't know they had to pay their fucking bills. If you're going to sit there and go and think that you're better and look down on people because they had to get a job to pay the bills because they didn't want to have their family live out in the street because they had to because they had children. Fuck you. You're not better than anyone else because you didn't get a jab. And
yeah,
not everyone that got jabbed is demonic. All right. And I
right.
said that in the spiritual community years ago. Cut the fucking shit. All right. You're not going to sit there and point your fingers and say, I'm better than you. You're all demonic. You're dumb because you got a jab. No, people had to fucking get the jabs because they had to pay the fucking bills. Period.
Yeah. Well, and I
Don't
think,
say,
and that's
I
exactly
didn't
what I
get
think
jabbed and you
Operation,
got a jab. Fuck you. You're not better than anyone else. I hate that
that's what
shit.
I
I'm
think
sorry.
Operation Warp Speed meant as well. Like, people think that, oh, the king of vaccines is like, no, he pushed out placebos. Exactly.
Yeah. I get really pissed off. So anyone in the chat talking bad about anyone who got jabbed, don't fucking put it in my chat. Because half of my family got jabbed and they're not retarded. And I take that as a personal fucking insult.
Yeah.
Thank you. So sick of this shit. All right. Not everyone who got jabbed is fucking dying, is dying of cancer. Do you really think that President Trump gave us jabs to fucking kill us? Use your noggins, people. Oh, I'm
I think
sorry. I'm
that
not.
a lot of
It
people that
pisses
are,
me off. It fucking pisses me off.
a lot of people that are having like these heart attacks too, a lot of that is the ascension symptoms. Like, some people just can't handle the incoming energies because they're such baby souls with a lower frequency that it's just not their time to ascend yet. So it's like a whole spiritual side of things happening on the other side that people don't talk about as well.
Yeah. And the jabs, and the people that jabbed who wish us dead can go fuck themselves too. That's true. But I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to sit here on my channel and people say, people that got jabbed. No, that's not true. It works both ways. The people that got jabbed that tell us to drop dead can go fuck themselves. And the people that think they're better and want to point fingers at that people that were jabbed can go fuck themselves. It works both ways, Garden Hope. Yeah, it does. Thank you. That's how I feel. I'm sorry because it just pisses me off. I'm sorry. The people that got the bad jabs got patches, got badges. There were specific batches where people got bad ones. And I'm not talking about the jabs during the Biden. I'm talking about the first initial jabs. The first initial jabs under President J. Trump, okay? I'm not talking about I'm not talking about the people that got
No.
jab after jab after jab. Those people are dumb and demonic. And I'm not saying that the jab doesn't kill. I'm talking about the initial round of jabs underneath President Donald J. Trump, Operation Warp Speed. That's all I get that psychically. And I'm not the only one that says that. And many, many people who are near and dear to President Trump have said this. Okay.
Yeah, I
Now,
made a video in like 2023 or 2022 all about that as well. How it's like, you know, I've made other videos too about the people pushing fear around it isn't helping anything. Like our minds are so powerful that, somebody, like you said, that took it because to feed their family or whatever, they can heal themselves. And so people push out all this fear about it, like we're these helpless beings, like they have no idea how magnificent the human body is. And of course it affected some people, but I said in my video in 2023, the higher perspective of the spiritual war, like what so many people still don't understand is like the solar flares and all of that, that's causing a lot of people to have heart attacks because it's just the energy. Some people can't handle the incoming light that's
yep,
hitting the planet.
yep. And I know a lot of people are dying from the jab. It's not what I'm saying, but I
Yeah.
have to make that clear because it's still coming up a lot and we need to get over ourselves, you know? If I wasn't awake, I probably would have gotten jabbed, right? We can't fault people for being asleep. I will tell you, I used to hate Donald Trump. I used to watch CNN. What if I got jabbed? Would you fucking judge me
When
if
I
I
was
got jabbed?
19, when I was 19, I worked at a call center for the Democratic Party.
Right. You can't fault people before they woke up. All
Yeah.
right. Everyone wakes up in their own time. It's you can't do that to people. Can't, I'm just sorry. I just got on my thing because I keep on hearing that. And like I said, all right, we're gonna get off of that. I know people are dropping dead from it, and I'm not saying that. So let's talk about how you used your spirituality to how you used your spirituality to help you beat your addiction, beat alcoholism. Tell us how you did it, honey. Tell us this first thing.
Well,
How you
I
started.
didn't for a long time. I still drank for a long time after waking up because, I woke up to all the dark stuff first, which is kind of the pattern it seems to go in, and then that's super depressing. And I'm like, well, this world's fucking psycho. And so that made me drink even more. And then, I'm getting drunk in like 2012 and telling my family this stuff, like, there's pedophiles around the world and they do unspeakable things to children and they think I'm batshit crazy, so, because not many people were talking about it back then. Of course, some people were, but not as much as they are now. So yeah, it just kind of spiraled. But, I moved to Florida and I was 30 and I quit drinking and changed my entire life when I was 31. I just remember being at like rock bottom. I was in the shower, like throwing up from the night before drinking. And I was just like, I can't do this anymore. And I quit everything at once. I don't recommend this, but it's something I needed to do. I'm an all or nothing person. And I quit drinking. I quit smoking weed. I went vegan at the time, which I do not recommend anymore, but, went vegan. I started lifting weights. I quit caffeine. Like I quit everything all at once. I was like, I'm just done. I'm done with all my vices. I'm done with everything. And best thing I've ever done for my life. And I think just moving, I needed, I grew up in northern Minnesota, super depressing. Everyone where I'm from drinks all the time because it's winter for most of the year. Small, tiny town. There's nothing to do. And like, I think that moving here where there's sunshine 24/7 and just, that plays such a role in our mood and just being outside in nature all the time, like that helped. There was so many things at play, but basically, and before that, I was kind of a serial dater. I went from long relationship to long relationship because I was always running from myself. Drinking and drugs and all that, it's just escapism from your own self. It's escapism from this reality. And so I finally just faced everything and I sat with myself for like 3 years. I didn't touch a drop of alcohol. And yeah, it completely changed everything. That's when I really started like filming a lot more on YouTube and talking about it. And that's one of my most viewed videos. Also, I have a video about how I quit smoking weed, which I do think weed is medicine, and I smoked weed for like 15 years as well. So,
Yeah,
but for
I
me,
can fully
I
say
just,
that I'm a weed advocate. If
yeah,
I didn't smoke weed, someone would be dead.
yeah. My fan's making noise. I gotta turn it off. Um,
I personally, the thing with it, I don't think weed is a drug. Okay, it's called cannabis god bud for a reason. It's a medicine.
yeah,
However, if you sit, just like anything else, you can be addicted. If you sit around all day smoking weed, morning, noon, and night, you're an addict, and
and
you
that
need to
was
cut the
me.
shit.
I'm just somebody that I could, every time I would try to like only smoke at night, I would start,
Mhm.
I would keep moving it, and then I would just become an all day or night. Like I would smoke all day and all night. It made me lazy. It would affect my sleep. Like I would wake up in the middle of the night, like every 3 hours, I'd have to smoke to go back to sleep. So for me, like weed was such an important part of my journey. I think it's a big reason I woke up when I did, because it opens your third eye. You know, it has a lot of benefits, but for me personally, I just always overuse shit because that's how I am. So I recently quit. Like the last time I mean, I made a video years ago about quitting, and I quit for many years.
Mhm.
Then I started up again in 2020 because if I didn't, I would probably go to jail.
Like
So
me.
yeah, it calms me down, but God, then I overused it, and then I just quit in January, and I haven't smoked since. And I just, for me, I have to be self-aware enough to realize, like, if I were to start again, it would slowly go into like an all-day thing. So I just don't even smoke anymore. But a lot of my friends do, and I don't look down on it at all.
Yeah, I yeah, I hear you. It's I don't smoke it all day. I do it at night before I go to bed because it's an anti-anxiety for me.
Yeah,
And I
who
and
knows?
I sometimes I don't even do that. Sometimes I just use a tincture, but
Mhm.
it helps me balance my hormones ever since when I had a hysterectomy, which is 9 years ago. I had a full hysterectomy, and I can't take I don't take painkillers. They try to put me on painkillers. I'm not into that. I don't like being like really, really drunk or whatever. I don't like the feeling of the painkillers. The painkillers to me were more druggy than the weed, right? So I didn't do that. I was smoking weed and I took cannabis tincture. And when I went back, like a week after, when they did my follow up after my hysterectomy, they're like, "You did it, like it was unbelievable my recovery." And then, what did you do? I'm like, I didn't take your like addictive oxycodone. I smoked weed and took cannabis tincture. They're
Yeah,
like, "Oh, good for you. Good for you."
I
It
hate
worked.
pain meds. I had meningitis back in 2012, and it was the worst. It's a brain and spinal cord infection. It's the worst pain ever. And they were giving me drugs like that in the hospital, and they would just make me throw up. Like I'm allergic to Vicodin. I'm allergic to a lot of that stuff.
Hmm.
But I was just like, I want to get out of here and smoke weed because nothing was making me feel better. And I remember my boyfriend at the time picked me up and I smoked in the car, and it did more for me than any of the drugs they were giving me. Like it helped me instantly. It's like I hate pain meds. They make me feel awful.
Yeah, I can't.
And they're
I
so
can't
addictive.
out of it.
People.
Yeah, I can't take them because as soon as I take them, I feel I don't know, I just feel out of it. I don't like feeling out of it. I That's why I could never like take heroin or like do ayahuasca. I don't like that feeling of not being in control. So I could never do those drugs anyways. Like oaks. If I had painkillers, I can't do painkillers because
Mhm.
those will put me on the astral and not in a good way. And it was and they I'm allergic to them. They make me itch. I just can't do it.
Yeah.
And a lot of times with my anxiety, I breathe, I walk, but sometimes I still get anxiety attacks. And this past week, if I didn't have weed, oh, I think half of my house would be broken up because between the anger and the hurt and the bullshit I've had to endure personally and professionally, it was like I would walk for hours, I'd pray, and then it was just like all of a sudden I was like, okay, I went and took a couple of puffs, and I'm like, oh, and I was
Yeah.
back. And then I was like, I was connected to spirit. That's another thing. I would have to meditate for hours. I take 1 hour. and I'm
Yeah.
there.
Well, that's another thing,
Like I
like
said,
everything that we do with a specific intent, like our intentions is everything,
mm-hmm,
always. So yeah, I mean, weed's absolutely medicine for sure.
yep. But just like I said, just like anything else, we could be addicted to anything. We're all addicted to our phones, all of us. We're
Mhm.
addicted to our phones. We could be addicted to sex, addicted to gossip, addicted to alcohol, addicted to weed, addicted to food. You can be addicted to anything. It's not about the substance, it's about your addiction to it and how it you're affected to it. Does it
Right.
have control over you? Right?
Hmm.
Does it have control over you? I go weeks and weeks without smoking weed.
Yeah, see, and I couldn't
And
do that. It would be to the point where I was so addicted to it that if we were like on vacation and I didn't have it, I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep. I would be so moody and angry and like, yeah, like when people say that you can't withdraw from weed, it's not was never the case for me. Like when every time I've ever quit in the past, I get the night sweats for like a week. But if for me, it's
yeah,
just something that I overuse. So I can't just smoke a little bit of it. So I just had to quit completely. I mean, maybe in the future,
right,
but I don't plan on it because every time that I say, I'm just going to smoke a little bit, it
mm-hmm,
never works that way for me. Like I can do that with alcohol. I don't have no desire to sit and drink all the time. Even when I have one or two drinks now, like half the time I'm like, I don't even like this anymore. Like I get hungover from like one drink now. I'm like, why am I even drinking this? So I can
right.
have a couple drinks like a year, but with something about weed with me, like it always suckers me in and I always become like an all day pothead and it's just not good for me. So I wish I had your willpower, but yeah, I can't.
Well, well, I will tell you after 40 and after, when you hit menopause, sleep. I used to like be a professional sleeper. I could eat and sleep like no tomorrow. Those are my two favorite pastimes. Now I
Yeah.
hardly do both. So if it wasn't for my cannabis tincture, I don't know, I would sleep. I
Yeah.
really, and it helps me. It helps me.
Yeah,
It
well,
helps
it's
me.
medicine for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. As far as smoking, I couldn't. I quit. I used to smoke cigarettes, not a lot, but I would smoke here and there. And I haven't had a cigarette in years. And the thing with smoking weed is that I don't know if it's. And listen, I've grown my own. My husband, my soon-to-be ex-husband, grown my own. I can't. I can't smoke anything on a regular basis anymore. I cough. I'm so
Yeah.
sensitive. So I only do it very sparingly. So, and like I said, we're not judging anyone. We're not judging anyone. I mean, it's all up to you. No one can tell you what to do, and no one can say you're addicted. You know yourself
Yeah.
whether or not. And listen,
Right.
there are some people that should smoke weed every day because if they didn't, they would not be good people. I mean,
Right.
I'm not judging you because I really feel that
Mhm.
weed's medicine. Okay, I've
Oh,
never
yeah.
listened. I go into I've gone to I used to live in Colorado and my husband was in the cannabis business. Okay. He was a grower. Okay. And we went to all kinds of things. We would go to parties where there's a bunch of drunks. There'd be fights, all kinds of bullshit. There would be aggression. There'd be fist fights. There'd be verbal fights. There'd be a mess. You go a bunch of weed smokers. Everyone's
Yeah.
happy. Everyone's loving
Yep.
each other. They might
Like
eat too.
the worst thing you're gonna do is like eat too much food, you know?
That's right. I will take a million pot smokers over one alcoholic any day of my
Yeah,
life.
absolutely. Yep.
So that's my stance on it. Oh,
Yeah.
you too. Got you through menopause. See, it's getting me through.
I'd
I
probably
actually,
be in I'd probably be in prison in 2020 if I didn't have weed. Just like being so upset with like people falling for everything. Oh my God, I was a hot mess. Yeah. That's when I started
yeah,
smoking again. And I didn't quit until 2025, January 1st, but
yeah.
here.
I mean, you know your body. You know when something's not serving you, and when it takes control over you. So
Yeah.
all you got to do. So, yeah, some people can't smoke weed. Some can say I can't drink. If What for me, if I have a glass of alcohol, I will puke. I can't drink. I can't
Yeah,
even
I know.
have a
I'm
sip of
getting like
wine.
that now. Like it makes me sick. I mean,
Makes
it's
me sick.
poisoning ourselves, so it's not surprising. But
Right. And I
yeah,
do think not for everyone. Okay, not for everyone, because I don't want anyone to think that I'm judging anyone, because I'm not. I think with a lot of people, because alcohol is so low vibe, I think the more you do your spiritual work and more you raise your vibration, you can't drink because drinking is
Yeah.
low vibe. Because I can't even have a sip now and I get glass belly and literally makes me sick. And I'm not saying this for everyone. I'm not saying that if you drink, you're not high vibing. Please don't take it that way. I'm
Yeah.
saying everyone's different. There's not one size fits all. Everyone's different.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. And I think that's like, it totally depends on my mindset. Like, you know, when we were all home, when my mother was passing away, alcohol was making me sick because I was already in a low mood. You know, if I'm, you know, out at a party and it's like somebody's wedding and we're all in a happy mood and I have a couple drinks, it affects me so much differently than it's totally like what state we're in already. Like if you start drinking and you're already in a high vibrational state, it's not going to lower you that much. But if you're already down here and you have a drink, it's going to bring you way down. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Chloe says, doctor put me on weed after open heart surgery. Couldn't do the pain meds till my ribs healed up. It was so painful. Oh my goodness, you had open heart surgery? Oh my
Wow.
goodness, Chloe. God bless
Weed
you, honey.
is so good for pain management, like better than anything.
When I went to the doctor and I was in pain, they gave me that. And for my menopause, my anxiety, everything, it's helped me so much. It helped me regulate because even though you go through menopause, we still have hormones. It still have and the reason why I got a hysterectomy was not because, hey, Slumerian Mac, wasn't because it wasn't because of the fact that I forgot, I lost my train of thought. What the hell was I saying? Oh my God, I lost my train and I didn't smoke any weed, I promise you. I forgot I was gonna say. But it was something about weed, but I totally forgot. So anyways, let's get back to it will come back to me. Um But something about weed, and I totally changed my forgot I was gonna say.
About the hysterectomy, maybe the pain.
Yes, the hysterectomy. Thank you. Okay. So after I got the reason why I got the hysterectomy is because thank you, you got me on track. The reason why I got the hysterectomy was not because I had physical ailments. I had something called PMDD.
Yeah.
So PMDD is premenstrual dysphoric disorder. It is like PMS on steroids.
Mhm.
I literally would only have maybe 7 to 10 days where I wasn't a basket case.
Yeah.
Okay? Where I was like I would either want to kill someone or kill myself. I would not want to go out. People would look at me and I suffered every month. So finally when I turned 45, they said, "You know what? You're not going to have children." I'm like, "No, I'm not going to have children." I wasn't going to have children at that point. So they gave me a hysterectomy. And it helped me tremendously. So it is a medicine. It really is a medicine.
Yeah.
But so thank you for getting me back on track.
Yeah.
Oh, she is cute she is Lemurian Mac. She is cute. She is cute as
Thanks.
Yep. Good to see you, Lemurian Mac. So yeah. So let's talk about what we can do because we're gonna go on 2 hours now and we're gonna kind of like sum it up here and let's talk about now that we talked about all our issues and everything that we're going through as a Soul Tribe family, let's talk about how do we deal with the fact that most of the people that we love and recognize us and acknowledge us and we resonate with are people that we haven't met. Because all the people that I will tell you that, like you and all the people that I met online, like my soul mama, golden retriever puppies, and all my friends and all you in the chat, the people who I've never met, they treat me better. They understand me than my own family. And even though it's wonderful to have us, we're not really physically, we're not technically alone. But some of us, like me, we don't have awakened people around us. So how do you deal with that, Maren? How do you deal with being the black sheep in your family, dealing with the fact that most of the people that resonate with you and care about you and you feel close to are people that you've never met and you're not blood related to?
Well, I think that's one big reason why I started a YouTube channel years ago. It's like, you know, getting a platform to be seen and heard when you're not seen and heard in your own family. And again, my family's not, they're not bad people. It's just the way that it is. And yeah, when I first started YouTube, it was very therapeutic for me because, people would comment and they would actually like take my advice and they would ask me questions and be interested in what I had to say. And it was just very different from anything I was ever used to. And so I was just like, wow, this is cool. Like people actually think that I maybe have some knowledge about stuff. So, you know, getting online has helped a lot. I think, I don't know, like I always say, I'm waiting for a day we can all like have that jubilee in the streets. I've dreamt of this so many times where we're all like partying in the streets together. I
Yeah.
think that I think Scott and Joe are coming here in October, is it? And there's a truth tour, and that would be so fun if you could come
Yeah.
and other people could come. And I know it's so expensive and hard to travel though for everybody right now. And yeah, I don't know. It's like the internet is a blessing and a curse because we have found people who understand us and our soul tribes. But on the other hand, right now, I am like, I can't even go on Instagram because it's just a toxic cesspool and it just drives me insane. So, like I
Yeah.
said, it's a blessing and a curse. So it's like, I love the internet because we're able to do this and we found each other through these apps and through the internet. But at the same time, it comes to a point like, when are we all going to unite and like start real communities in real life? Like that's the next step that we need to take. And I know that's a lot, but I'm looking forward to the day. We all just need
Yeah.
to like band together and make our own state.
Exactly. No, that's true too. I think we have a visitor. That's why I have to hold on. I have to adjust my camera because when we get spiritual visitors, they make my camera go blurry. So hold on. Okay. So I think that's why I started my YouTube channel too. I was working as an executive assistant for 30 some odd years. I was a part-time psychic. Everyone knew that. And then when during the pandemic in 2020, I got laid off. I said I'm doing it full time. But I think getting through it is having my YouTube channel. You're right. As everyone knows, I'm not on Instagram. So if you tried to message me on Instagram, I haven't been on Instagram in 3 months, and I don't know if I'll go back because it's a toxic
Yeah.
cesspool.
It's just and it drains. I'll post and I'll get off because it just drains my energy. Like scrolling and
Yeah.
seeing all the bot comments, like it just drives me nuts.
Yeah, because if you're like me, it's like I can't not be emotional. I cannot get pissed
Yeah.
off. Like if I'm trying to watch something and I know someone's going to piss me off, I'll like fast forward it or I'll delete it or I'll mute it
Mhm.
because I'm like I know it's going to piss me off. And I
Yeah. That's why I can't watch the news either. I'm just like, oh my God, I can't even. Yeah.
Yep. So I got off Instagram too, and it's another thing is like because I would say popular, but because I've been on YouTube for a while and I have a lot of subscribers. A lot of people were messaging me on Instagram, and it was becoming overwhelming. It was like I was spending all like hours and hours responding to messages and watching videos, and these videos put me in a really bad mood. So I might go back on Instagram, but I'm kind of trying to stay off social media because it is a soul sucking and even just the scrolling. And you don't think that there's there's AI everywhere. And even just scrolling things, and you don't think it affects you, it does. So
Oh yeah.
just we all have to take breaks from our screen and social media. But
Yeah.
getting back to how I get through what I'm going through and what we're going through. I can't say that I'm always good at it. This week I spent crying and being angry because I've dealt with a lot of bullshit. But I do think having this platform has helped me because, like you said, it's like no one wants to listen to me and my family, right? No one wants to listen to me, my personal friend, my friendships, right? However, all these people who don't know me online, they listen to me.
Yeah.
They actually listen to what I have to say. And people and I've realized it's like, yeah, people have been paying me money for a long time now, 30 some odd years as a psychic, but I still have to reach more people. So I feel like things like this. Now, for people that don't want to go start their own YouTube channel and don't want to be on screen, you can write, you can journal, you
Yeah.
can write a song, right? Any way that you can speak your piece. I
Mhm.
think it's very imperative that people speak their piece and they're heard. What do you think?
Yeah. And and exactly like you said, like not everybody wants to start a YouTube channel. Not everyone wants to go online. So yeah, like whatever it takes, being in nature is also something that helps me so much, because when I'm in nature, I just kind of feel more connected to like the elemental realm and God or spirit, whatever you want to call it. And it's just, you don't feel so alone. Whoops.
Kitty
Because
cat?
yeah, no, he's sleeping over there. I just kicked it on it.
Oh, he's
um,
sleeping.
yeah, because I won't bring him outside.
Oh,
It's it's interesting because it's like strangers online that I've never met in my life seem to understand me more than, my own flesh and blood, which is such a weird like paradox that seems to be the pattern with all of us. So
it is a pattern. It's like I
yeah,
feel closer to like Soul Mama in the chat. She's like, I feel I feel more comfortable and get more love calling Jason's mother than my own.
yeah, yeah. It's funny how that works, but it's like, I guess we chose it for a reason. Like I do think that we chose our families for, reasons, but I don't know.
Mhm.
Maybe it's because we kind of have to do this journey like solo. And so maybe it's easier to disconnect from people who don't really get us and not have that like emotional bond. I don't know. I really don't know. But like
I'm
I said,
glad.
I kind of feel bad. Like I don't ever like miss my family, and I never have. I moved away right when I graduated. I moved 5 hours away. Then I moved to Colorado. Then I moved to Florida. Most of my family's in Minnesota. And I remember one of my sisters kind of being like, "Why are you always running away?" And I'm like, that's a big, beautiful world. A lot of people leave their hometown. I'm not running away. I don't know. It's just interesting. Yeah, the dynamics are funny because you would think like your own blood would be somebody who understands you, but they really only know past versions of us that don't really exist anymore.
Yep. Yep. No, you're right. You're absolutely right. And I'm glad you mentioned nature because if it wasn't for the fact that it's nice out and I can go walk in my forest and going down the beach and walking, being in nature has really, really helped. It's
Hmm.
just disconnecting and not always having either a screen in front of you or having to watch a television and just being on your own. Like I say, you don't have to always meditate and sit there for an hour and say, you can do
Yeah.
walking meditations. Go out and ground yourself, put your feet in the dirt or the sand or a puddle or the ocean.
Oh yeah.
Being
Like
in
meditation is
nature.
in so many different forms. Like when I'm working out in the gym, that's a form of meditation for me. I'm
Yep.
breathing, I'm counting, I'm in my own world. Even when you wash the dishes, you can make that meditation. I've never been someone that can like literally sit there and meditate like that. Like I can't do it personally. It doesn't work for me. But I'm doing that outside, when I'm walking in the trees or I'm just sitting in the grass, like soaking up the sun or walking on the beach, like to me, that's when I just kind of like disconnect. And yeah, that's my form of meditation for sure.
Yeah. I'd say we all have to tap into our spirits, tap into that, and get into who we are. Now, I'm going to end the show in about 5 minutes, and I'm going to give Maren the last say. However, I do want to say a few things. First of all, I want to say I love you all so much. Thank you so much. Thank you for being my soul family. I wish you lived next to me. It sucks that we're all in different countries, in different states, even though at least you're in my time zone. At least you're in,
Yeah,
you're on the East Coast, right? I love you guys. You've always been there for me. I feel closer to you guys than my own family. You all have treated me better than my own flesh and blood. Literally. So I love you all. I want us as people to understand that we are perfect as we are. We are perfect in our imperfections. Don't be afraid of your shadow self. Don't judge yourself because you can be a bitch or you're moody or you're emotional or you can't stand people. Embrace who you are. As Maren said, the highest vibration is love of God. However, up there too is authenticity. Be yourself. Love yourself. Be authentic. You don't have to put on airs for anyone. You don't have to be anything for anyone. If people don't like you for who you are, fuck them. They're not your people. Be who you are. You'll find your people. Maren and I talked at length last night about how our families think they're too much. They can't handle us. We're too emotional. We're too sensitive. We're too this. Fuck them. I am who I am. This is who
Mhm.
I am. I can't change it. And when you try to please other people, when you try to twist and turn to be what other people want you to be, that's when you lose yourself. Be
Yeah.
authentically you. Embrace all your faults. None
Yeah.
of us walk on water. None of us were born perfect. If you want to ascend quicker, be authentically yourself. And I'm not the only spiritual teacher or person that has a channel to say this. That's my last words for you. And my soul sister, manifesting Maren, we have to do this often. We have to do this
Yeah.
more often. And we have to get Joe and Scott back. I think they're still out of the country though, aren't they?
I'm not sure if they're still there. They might be.
Yep. Oh, I
Costa
love you
Rica.
so much, my soul mama. That's the mother I wish I had. She is such a good mama. I love you. Mwah, mwah. And is it Avery's birthday? I think I saw in the chat. Give Avery a hug and kiss for me. I have to talk to Jason. I haven't talked to him in a while. He's been busy. I love you, my soul mama. All right, Miss Maren, thank you for coming on. We should do a Soul Sister Saturday and I want to come on your channel. You have to get back on your channel.
I
So
know,
whenever
I
you want
know.
me
I'm
on,
so bad. I'm so inconsistent. I just, like I said,
okay.
I just go in these hermit mode phases for, and they end up being like years at a time. But
Yeah,
I know
I'm hermit
I
too.
need to have you on my show. I want to have you. I want to have you, Scott, and Joe. I think that would be fun. That was really fun last time.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
actually I texted, oh, tomorrow. I'll text Jason because Avery's gonna be 6 tomorrow. Wow, Avery's
Aw.
gonna be the big 6. Oh my God, she's so cute. She's so
Happy
cute.
birthday.
Happy birthday, Avery Starseed. Okay, what was I gonna say? I lost my train of thought again. What is wrong with me?
Well, I was
It's
gonna say
because I'm sick.
I agree with everything that you were saying about being authentic, and we can kind of get addicted to the whole like working on ourselves and trying to be perfect. I know I went through that phase, absolutely, like especially when I quit drinking and quit smoking and did all of that stuff all at once, and then it's like this endless cycle of, okay, now I have to heal. I can't tell you how many times I would break down crying because I could never like just heal my anger issues, and I was, just like felt defeated. And like you said, we just have to accept ourselves because there's never going to be this perfect version of ourselves. And in this spiritual community, we can get like addicted to the self work, and like yeah, shadow work is important, but there comes a point where you have to just stop and not keep thinking that you're this imperfect person, like trying to be perfect, because we are not. We're emotional beings. We are going to have good days. We are going to have bad days, and we're meant to. And yeah, like accepting those parts of ourselves is going to heal that, ironically. So instead of like pushing it away like it's something negative, we just have to learn how to, deal with it in a better way.
Oh, very sweet. Thank you, Natalie. Yes, and that's another thing. We were talking about how you and I we get angry. We get angry. We are fiery women. We have tempers. And I also think people have to understand something. Anger is hurt.
Yeah,
Anger is
underneath
hurt.
grief is, or sorry, underneath anger is grief. Absolutely.
Yep,
Yeah.
right? And people like Maren and I, we spent half of our lives being walked on and being sensitive. So we go from crying to being angry. But anger is hurt.
Mhm.
Okay, so I know sometimes people like us are tough to take because we're emotional and we get angry and we have tempers, but it's hurt.
Yeah.
It's a cry for help. Like when you're in pain, you writhe and be, oh, I'm in pain. That's what anger is.
Mhm.
You're crying out for pain. So
Yeah.
don't judge yourself. I'm not saying, listen, I've told people often sometimes I could be a bitch and I've made apologies and sometimes I'm quick to temper and I have wished I didn't say things and I wish I've taken a break. I'm not perfect. Never said I was. However, at least I get it out. I know doing my soul therapy sessions and when I do energy release, when people don't speak their truth, when they're too afraid to offend people or they're too afraid to be angry, that's when you get sick, right?
Yeah. Oh
You
yeah.
have to let it out.
Internalizing emotion is like the fastest way to manifest disease in the body because it's dis-ease. You're just internalizing everything. You have to find
Right?
a way to release it, which is why for me, I always say, weightlifting is my therapy through and through and through. It is my anger management. I like to pick heavy shit up and put it down. And it helps me more than I ever knew that it could. Like it is the best thing I ever did for myself. Like it helped me in so many more ways than I could have ever imagined. But everyone has their own thing. You just have to find it.
Yeah. For me, it's walking. I go to the gym in the winter, but in the summer, when it's nice out now, I walk,
Yeah.
I bike ride. Yeah. And for me,
Yeah.
it's singing. So
Hmm.
I guess Maren and I are saying find a way to release your emotions. Don't bottle them up because that's like dis-ease. That's what disease is. Dis-ease.
Yeah.
Everything is energy. Pardon me. So if you keep it in, it's going to come out other ways. If you bottle up your emotions or your anger or whatever it is, and you're afraid to be yourself and you don't want to speak up, it will manifest.
Yeah.
So we're not saying to go around and be assholes. We're not saying to go around and hurt people's feelings and go on rampages. We are saying you can speak up for yourself. If someone comes at you, there's nothing wrong with it. You be yourself. Speak with love, but speak up. Be you.
And sometimes the
And
most loving thing you can do is being blunt and honest. So, yeah.
yep. I mean, we don't want to hurt people's feelings. And I don't think anybody that's really angry, some people are malicious. Um, but I think that most people, when we get angry, it's because we've had enough, right? We've had enough. You can only take so much and then so let it out, be yourself. If it's hard for you, if you can't tell people off, and sometimes it's not even, you shouldn't tell people off. Sometimes, even if you told someone off, they wouldn't get it. Some people, you could sit there and say how you feel, and they'll blame it on you. So sometimes, if it's just writing it down, writing a letter to someone, at least you're getting it out.
Oh, yeah.
You
Journaling's
don't
huge for me. Yeah. Yeah.
You don't have to be face to face to tell someone how you feel. You can tell them out in the astral or write them a letter or speak to them out loud when you're
Yeah.
alone. Because even if they don't hear it, it goes into the astral and their soul will heal it.
Yeah.
All right. And one last thing that I do want to say before we go, even though I said you were going to have the last say,
Oh, and it's okay.
that Ho'oponopono, am I pronouncing it right? The Ho'oponopono prayer. I forgive
Oh,
me. What is it?
I think that's how you
Forgive.
say it. Yeah.
Yeah, that is very, very helpful. And I believe it is, I love you. Please forgive me. I'm going to look it up now. Hold on. I'm going to get it. The Ho'oponopono, because I want to say it right. I think it's Ho'oponopono. Oh, here we go. Yeah, it is a Ho'oponopono. And it is, I'm sorry. Forgive me. Thank you. I love you.
Hmm.
I'm sorry. Forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Okay? If you're at odds with somebody or if you need to talk with somebody, say that. Say that. Say their name and keep on saying that. Even if you never talk to them again, even if you're not face to face, that will help heal the situation because we know everything is energy and 99% of what's going on is in the astral.
Hmm.
All right, Miss Maren, we do have to get the boys on. I think it's your channel because last we said with Joe and Scott that we all agreed that we're going to switch channels. So it's either your channel or their channel next time.
Yes, for sure. I know. I got to get on mine.
All right. Yeah. So when Maren gets on her channel, I'll come on. We'll come on. And yeah. And in the meantime, even though Maren's not on, she has the best. You have the best memes. You do.
I steal memes
Love
off
memes.
Instagram.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. We all steal memes. We all
Yeah.
do it. But you do great ones. All right, my Soul Tribe family, this was awesome. Again, we're going to do this. We're going to have a regular Soul Sister Saturday. I think even if it's just once or twice a month, we got to do this, Maren.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
people love you. People were so People were already in the chat this morning saying, "Yay, we love you two
Aw.
together."
Well, I love the Soul Tribe. Yeah, thank you for having me on. It's always fun.
And this is our number 1 fan, Mel. He loves us. He loves you,
Oh,
Maren. I see
Mel,
him. He
Mel
loves you, Maren.
comments on all of my memes. I know. Hey, Mel.
Hi, Mel. All right, my Soul Tribe family, we love you. Look for more of Manifesting Maren. I'm going to be on her to do more lives and to because she's very, very talented. She's got a lot to say and she's connected. And in the meantime, I don't know when I'm going to be on again. I will be doing some kind of psychic live sometime this week. In the meantime, make sure you purchase your readings before Monday. They're 20%, excuse me, $20 off. All right. And until then, seize the day, be good, but not too good. Have fun. And just know that, listen, when you're not alone, I know that we're not physically together, but we're all in this together. Just because Maren and I on screen doesn't mean we don't feel like you guys feel. We're all in this together. And I hope tonight made you feel less alone. I hope you could help. I hope Manifesting Marion and I speaking our piece and telling you a little bit about our lives and being vulnerable helped you because that's why we have channels. So until then, we both love you. I'll see you soon.
Bye.
Like, share, and, yeah, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Bye, folks.